Thank you all for being here with us tonight. We are with the Prince George's County Planning Department and with our consultant team, Clary and Associates, and we'd like to welcome you to learn more this evening about the county's effort to revise and replace our zoning ordinance and subdivision regulations. My name is Chad Williams, and I'm with the Prince George's County Planning Department's Countywide Planning Division. I'm the project manager of this effort. But I kind of like to look on it as the planning department is the steward of the zoning ordinance, because this is really Prince George's County's zoning ordinance and subdivision regulations. This is not a planning department project per se. This is a county effort, and one that, in all honesty, is very much overdue and very much necessary. We have a 50-year-old zoning ordinance. Zoning ordinances tend to age much faster than people do, so it's really feeling its age at 50. It's something that staff and the decision makers at the planning board and council have a lot of problems with. Residents and citizens and property owners have a lot of problems and questions with it. And I see a few attorneys in the room, and I know many more attorneys have a lot of difficulties with it and paid the big bucks to try to help navigate through it. And what often happens is that a group of us end up in a room somewhere for a few hours trying to figure out what something says. So wouldn't it be nice to have a nice, clear set of regulations that everybody has to abide by, and you don't have to hire an attorney to help you understand it? That's really one of the main things of what we're trying to accomplish with a new zoning ordinance update.
This is a proposal to rewrite the zoning ordinance, and many of the zones that we have in place today will continue forward. Some of them will be renamed. In a few cases, we have 2 or 3 zones covering similar types of development. They'll be consolidated into a single zone. And then in the commercial and the mixed use and the transit-oriented areas, they're proposing significant change. They're proposing brand new zones that will replace zones that we currently apply in those places. So the answer to your question of will there be rezoning? The answer is yes, but not everywhere. Okay. By and large, the single-family residential zones, where I'm guessing many of the folks in this room live, there will be no need to rezone because the names may change, but basically whatever zone you are today will dictate clearly what zone you become under the new ordinance, and the rezoning happens, if you will, by operation of law. There's no decision to make, there's no discussion to have. Okay. But in those commercial areas and the mixed-use areas especially, and the transit-oriented areas, because new zones are replacing old zones, the district council will have to do a rezoning in those locations, and that will happen after the new ordinance is adopted. We can't start that until we know whether there is a new ordinance and exactly what it says, but that will come.
Okay, great, thanks.
I'm Derek Berlage with the Planning Department, and the proposal is Clarion's proposal. The department has not accepted or rejected anything in here yet, but we do understand what they're proposing. And as proposed, it would not be required that there be a TDM or that there be a parking district in the regional transit-oriented district high. But that's a very valid comment. The standards have not been written yet. That's actually coming in Module 2. So if your suggestion is that some more robust way to address transportation issues and parking issues ought to be a requirement of the highest intensity zone, then we certainly add that to the discussion points. And I also want to answer your earlier question, which I think was misunderstood, which is not their fault because they're not as familiar with what's going on in particular places in the county as the rest of us are. But the core and the edge base zones, whether it was Prince George's Plaza or anywhere else, they would be mapped. They would be hard boundaries. And the council ultimately, of course, the district council would decide what those boundaries are. But you would not be able to sort of magically accrete land, for example, from a residential neighborhood into those center zones. The boundaries would be drawn after the new ordinance is adopted and the new map is adopted. There is a planned development option which would allow landowners to seek higher intensity development on land that they control, but as proposed by Clarion, a residential rezoned area, correct me if I'm wrong, would not be eligible for a commercial or a center, TOD center type plan development. So if that was your concern, I think whether it's the base zone or the PD zone, the residential areas that are close to a commercial area or a mixed-use area could not be drawn into it. And there are also compatibility standards that these folks are recommending to make sure that where the edge zone, the edge commercial zone or the edge mixed-use zone touches single-family neighborhood, that there'd be very strong protections for that neighborhood. I don't know if you covered that during your presentation or not.
Several times, but and those are going to be drafted in the next module, in Module 2.
So we're talking about uses and definitions currently, we're not waiting for module number 2 to come on, right?
The uses are something you should look at as you review.
How can the public put in recommendations for a new category, a new use, or a refined definition? How can they provide that input to see if we can consider those?
One of the best ways to provide comment on recommended changes or new use categories, new definitions, we're looking, and Craig and Dot have made this point, anywhere where a definition can be streamlined and perhaps reduce some of the text. If you have any of these recommendations, please use our open comment online commenting system. Log in, create an account, log in, and leave your comments on that site. And then other people can see what recommendations you made and perhaps can help make even a better definition for all of us as a county. You can also, if you're uncomfortable with open comment or have some difficulties, please feel free to contact myself or Brittany Drakeford. You can shoot us direct emails, and we make sure that the Clarion team receives this information.
And we welcome those types of comments.
Yeah, I would think it'd be necessary because it's the perfect time to do it is consider some of these archaic uses that are now been modernized or something totally different, or definitions or uses that are out there that really didn't exist in the past and are being incorporated into definitions that existed from 1940 and 50 and are still in the zoning regulations and have never been updated. And they're very harmful to some of the uses that are out there today. They keep getting thrown back into these old definitions that don't apply anymore.
Bill, in response to your great observation, we have made hard copies of the full volume, the full module available at all 19 of the county libraries. And that's really going to be the best way for folks to see the hard copy, the printout, and see the use tables themselves as they will appear full size as they're intended for the final code.